said, "I've had enough of big government spending, increasing debt, and a total disregard of the meaning of we the people." So he decided to do something about it and run for a seat in the House of Representatives, the office now held by Alan Boyd. Mr. Steve is a hard-working businessman and knows what it means to meet a payroll and make the tough decisions that small businesses face every day. And unlike the government, he operates his home and business within a budget. He grew up in the Panama City area, graduated from Troy State, and has been married to Miss Susan for 23 years, and they have 4 daughters. Mr. Steve has been very active in his community. He was appointed by the governor to serve as the chairman of the Early Coalition of Northwest Florida, served as chairman of the Bay County Chamber of Commerce, and as chairman of the Military Affairs Committee, along with many other volunteer positions serving his community. He is co-owner and president of Sutherland Family Funeral Homes, a business which has been in the family for several generations. He is a charter member and former trustee of the North Star Church in Panama City, which has grown to a membership of over 3,000. If you want to know what kind of representative Mr. Steve will be, take a look at what he has done. He puts his priorities in the following order: faith, family, and freedom. His common sense approach and money management is reflected in the fact that he and some volunteers collected over 6,000 signatures to qualify to run, rather than paying a filing fee of nearly $11,000. Due to his connections and networking, he is the only Republican candidate in this race to qualify by petition. Mr. Steve is a true conservative and a student of the Constitution. He believes deeply in defending this nation from enemies, both foreign and domestic. He believes the government can be made smaller by eliminating government waste, placing caps on spending, balancing the budget, and getting government off the backs of small business so they can create jobs. We need leaders in Washington, D.C. who will stand up for us and assure that the voice of the people will be heard. Mr. Steve has sacrificed significant time with his family and business to get his message out and serve the people of District 2. Considering the fact that there are nearly 500,000 voters in this district, we are honored that Mr. Steve has now made his 3rd trip to our area to get to know us. He will not forget us when he gets to D.C., but he needs our vote. He needs you to tell your family and friends and help spread the word to vote for him on August 24th. You can visit his website, take some of the available literature, put a sign up in your yard. There are many ways that you can help spread the word. You can also sign up to volunteer, and if you are able, please consider a financial contribution to the campaign. In case you don't know, his opponent has $1 million to spend in this campaign. With your help, Mr. Steve will win this election. So without further ado, I introduce to you Mr. Steve Sutherland.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that prayer as well. I don't think I've ever had a nicer introduction, and that was wonderful. I'm not going to stand behind that podium. I know I drive Melissa nuts, and probably Matt nuts.
You're good.
It's nice to hear you admit that.
You're a very nice man. I'll admit that.
This has been a great few days here. I want to say, you work a lot to run for Congress. This is an enormous district, 16 counties, over 11,000 square miles, and 2 time zones. It's one of the largest congressional districts east of the Mississippi River, and it's the largest one in Florida of the 25 we have. But I'll tell you, you run, you get worn down a little bit, but I got to tell you, being with you charges me up. Being with you energizes me. It's like a shot of adrenaline. It gets me through long days, many sleepless nights. And I want to say thank you so much for your hospitality. As I travel around these 16 counties, I'm meeting wonderful people. I'm meeting people that I would have never met had I not answered this call. My life is intersecting with the people that make me so proud to be an American. There's a lot of pain out there. You know, many of you, that I'm a funeral director by trade, and it's a great privilege to care for families at their hour of worst need and pain and hurt. And that's what my family's done for 55 years. And man, on the worst day of someone's life, 2 in the morning, to have them think of me and call me, it's a great privilege. I can't imagine a better profession to prepare me for this job. Because as a grief expert, as I've traveled around the 16 counties, I'm seeing a lot of pain. I'm seeing a lot of hurt. And our leaders aren't showing up. Our leader doesn't come home. And I was taught, when people are hurting, you run to them. You run to them. And sometimes when you don't know what to say, you just be there. You hug them. But you let them know that they're not alone. You need to know that. The people in this district need to know that they are not alone. I've done a lot of things, as you outlined in your wonderful introduction. I have a lot of experiences in my life that have taught me a lot of things. But I'm here to tell you, Steve Sutherland's a man. Steve Sutherland will let you down from time to time. And Steve Sutherland doesn't know all the answers, doesn't have all the answers to all the problems and all the solutions. But what Steve Sutherland can promise you, Steve Sutherland will be there. Steve Sutherland will be with you in your hurts. And he'll be with you in your pains. And we'll celebrate our victories together. And I believe that the victories that we've got are going to be great victories. Because unlike my opponents, and unlike the people that are in charge right now, I put greater faith in the American people. Their resilience, their belief in a positive tomorrow, than I do the federal government. You see, I don't believe you derive your rights from a government. I believe you derive your rights from the God who made you. And I believe that those rights were given to you the moment, the very second, that He formed you in your mother's womb. And I believe that with all my heart. And I believe that He has given us, His people, the ability through the common sense He blessed us with, to know what is right for our marriages, to know what is right for our families, our children, our small businesses, our communities, and our states. We want government to get out of our way. You know, we talked about a river, and I have likened in this campaign the federal government to a river. You know, we love rivers. And right here I can't help but, talk about the Suwannee River. We're close to the Suwannee River. You know, rivers are great. Rivers are good for transporting cargo. They're good for hydroelectric power, and they're good for irrigation. Rivers are good for fishing. And yesterday, as I crossed the river in Branford, I saw some boys down there climbing up on a log, and jumping off, and playing in the river. Rivers are meant to be enjoyed. Rivers are meant for a good, positive purpose. That's why God gave us rivers. And I believe that the federal government is like a river. And I believe it has a purpose, a good purpose, a purpose to serve the people. a purpose to be there when they need it, but when they need it only. I believe that river, though, from time to time will rise. And that river will grow. And it will swell. And unfortunately, that river will overflow its banks. And sometimes